Hello, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. So, the Svelte Sirens is a new Svelte society, new-ish. We started in September. We announced at the Svelte Summit in New York. Three of the co-founders came to New York to announce it, and one was still in London, so we did it virtually with her. It's a Svelte society for women and non-binary people. And what our focus is to help support those people in our community and spotlight any projects that they're working on, but also to produce more content for those people. So we've started a siren stream that we run every 2 weeks, and we just integrate a new project with Sveltekit. And then we have a monthly talk that we do where we try to highlight women and non-binary people, but there's not a ton of that in the community right now. So we're trying to invite as many on as we can, but there's also going to be others that are in there, and we call those allies. So as long as you're an ally to the community, we allow you to come on, to talk, to be a part of the talks and a part of the streams. So that's where we're at right now. And we're just hoping to grow and become even better. I feel like I'm not responsible for doing it. Wix did like come up with the idea, and he asked me to like kind of start the initiative. And at first I turned him down. I was like, I don't have time to add this project on. But you're so right, how we just need to have that space for people to be able to express themselves, to communicate with like-minded people. So I totally agree. And I'm glad that I'm being able to spearhead it, I guess. Yeah, that's an interesting question. So, it kind of was two things that were like, here's design systems and then here's Svelte. And I kind of wanted to bring them together. So I did the first Svelte Sirens talk that we had, and I did that on building design systems with Sveltekit, because Sveltekit provides you with this package command. So you can essentially build a part of your design system, which is component libraries, with Sveltekit, and then package it and ship it to NPM to then publish it and share with the world just with Sveltekit. So I was kind of bringing those two worlds together. And like, you're building your design system and you may have that in some other tool, but then you build your component library with Sveltekit and you're able to package and ship that out. Yeah, so Svelte itself is a compiler. It's just the language like React or Vue. Sveltekit is a framework that's built on top of that. And they started, I want to say, at the beginning of 2020 or end of 2019 with building this. And this is Rich Harris is the creator of Svelte. And he also started creating Sveltekit as a framework to kind of replace what was Sapper. Sapper was the server-side rendered static generation framework before Sveltekit. So Rich was hired by Vercel at the end of last year, I think around November, and he was hired to continue work on Svelte and Sveltekit. So he's going to be maintaining that through Vercel and building up the project. So it's still in beta right now, to address your other point. I think the hope is that it will be out of beta soon and that we will have a 1.0 of Sveltekit. I think the adoption is starting to pick up. There are quite a few sites that are using it. I was actually hired by Granger Incorporated to work on Sveltekit back in September of last year. So we were producing production code with Sveltekit on a huge e-commerce site. So it's definitely production ready.
And actually, Sveltekit being a bigger framework for Svelte, you can, for a design system, you can probably just use Svelte, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with something like Backlight, which allows you to do it from code first. I think that you almost don't even need these other like design tools. If you're working with developers, it's easy for you to use Svelte to build your design system with Backlight and have that visual connection.
That's what we like
Yeah.
about Backlight, but I don't want to plug too much of Backlight into the stream, but but thank you. People can definitely create components libraries with Svelte today, and then import it into a Sveltekit project, or a pure Svelte app in the same way, and this is and they can do that right now. And which and this is where I have a couple of questions. If you're okay, Mads. We have in the Backlight website we have a DS mastery, which is the kind of it's a documentation to master how to create design systems. And so we talk about a few things of the design system, like design token, design kits, component libraries, and documentation sites. And in component library, I recently updated some of the Svelte libraries that you can use to actually start a design system as a base. And so I listed the Svelte Headless UI, which is actually a non-official port of Headless UI from Tailwind Labs that are doing that in React and Vue. And there is abstractions, the carbon components in Svelte, obviously, that is a big one, and Svelte Material UI. And I was wondering if you had other component library base that you would recommend for people to actually build Svelte components libraries.
So Carbon UI is, you have that down there. Okay.
Yes.
Carbon is one of the ones that I use a lot from IBM. Svelte Material. Yeah. Trying to think if there's any other ones out there that I know of.
I also had Svelterial that will soon be replaced by Svelte Materialify. And I have Smelt. But Smelt, unfortunately, for what I tried at least last week or 2 weeks ago, the keyboard accessibility was not working. There. So I couldn't mention it up front here.
I know that Swix just redid a popular, it's a template. It's kind of a starter. It's not a component library in of itself, but it's a starter kit with Tailwind. Yep. And it's called Swixkit.
Swixkit. And so, yes, so I know actually this starter kit, I saw it, which is, and I think this is based on, it's actually inspired by something.
A Next.js one that Lee Robinson created for Vercel.
Exactly. And so, and this contains a design system built in, or a little one?
It's a small one. There's a few components that are in there, but like I said, it's not a traditional component library like you're looking for buttons and things like that. It's just kind of a starter kit to get started with SvelteKit, and it's got Tailwind for the CSS.
So this being said, so this is one thing. So if you ever come across another one, please share it with me. I love those things, and I put that list. And in the same area, when it comes to styling Svelte, what would you say is a good option today for styling Svelte components?
I would say whatever you enjoy styling in. I like good old vanilla CSS because I think it is just super powerful, and especially all the things that we're getting in it recently, it's just becoming the go-to for me. I actually enjoy writing Tailwind, and I think it speeds up my development process a little bit if I don't need my code to be more modular. But if I'm building a design system, I want it to be modular, and I don't like having the duplicity of Tailwind. So if you have a UL with a bunch of list items, you have to copy all of your list item classes onto each one, or create a variable to use for the class name. And that part I don't like about Tailwind, but it's whatever you want to use, honestly. I think, and everything works with SvelteKit. It provides Sass. There's Svelte add is a command that you can use to add Tailwind, to add Sass. And I think there might be another one in there. But like CSS modules is kind of just baked in where you have that scoping by default. So you don't really need CSS modules. So that's one that I might not use.
In the Svelte files directly, right? When you have a style element in the Svelte.
Yes. Any .svelte
we
file
can actually do something here online just for just for and so here, if we wanted to, I don't know how come the button is already styled, but if we want to style in Svelte, right, we just do this, right?
We do a style tag, and then you can pop just vanilla CSS in there and
so if we want to do like, and if we do the button like this, we actually are scoped for this component automatically, right?
Only going to affect the button in that component. So any other button on your site isn't going to be touched by it. And it does that by hashing the class name and adding the hash to the end of the class name in the compiled version.
And if we look just for what you just explained, now we can look the button, and as we can see, the class is created. So exactly like a CSS module, and then we can have it here. Exactly.
Yep.
So this is scoped, so it's very well. And if we don't want it scoped, just for my refreshing my Svelte abilities, you can still do that by adding global here or something?
You can add global in the style tag, or you can do a colon global to only add it to the element or selector that you're using.
How do you do that? Like this?
If you did it to button, then you would do button colon global the other way. Sorry. Global instead of button on the end. That's okay.
It's late for me, you know?
Oh, yeah. Time zones are crazy. It's middle of the afternoon for me.
So, okay, let me check it out again. And now we have...
Now it should affect your button on every button that's on your site.
It looks like it's it's scopes, but
you have a parentheses next to global, I think. I don't think you need that.
But it failed if I must have a selector.
Global must contain a selector. Oh, you know, I'm wrong. So you do colon global and then button goes in the parentheses. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so it's kind. It's probably Astro pick it up from me, huh?
Did that work?
No. Oh yeah. And now, boom! You're right.
Okay, great.
Super cool.
I was just backwards. I don't use global very often because most of the time you want to have your style scoped. So
okay, that's very good. And if you want to use Sass, you mentioned Sass. I think the same way view here, you can say the language is Sass, something like that.
Lang equals SCSS. And is that installed in this project?
Yes, automatically in Backlight.
Yep, and that should work. And then you could do like your Sass nesting or any Sass code in there.
Yep. I don't know. I'm gonna do for the sake of the demo.
That's my favorite one to use. I'm ready for CSS to get nesting.
Can I do? What can I do?
Oh, for sure. Identifier is
something's wrong. Is that it?
It is SCSS. It looks like your syntax highlighting is saying something's wrong in the style tag.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can trust that. But yes.
Button and hover. That looks correct to me. I'm going to pull up the Svelte Siren site because we use Sass on the Siren site.
Let me see.
Style lang equals SCSS, and then you can use and colon hover.
And that's what I did.
Yeah,
that is maybe something that we should check it out. Then it should check out this maybe something on our end. So
if it's installed behind the scenes, then yeah, it might be something just in Backlight.
Yeah. We need to check that. Let's fix that. That's a good one. Okay, superb. And so this is what you would recommend, is just simple CSS in Svelte files, and actually it makes a lot of sense. And I like to ask those questions because when you don't have a compiler like Svelte and you do like React, or we had actually Solid last time, Ryan, the creator of Solid. And so when you are in JS like this, you are more in JS, you tend to use more frameworks and CSS in JS kind of things. But here, since you have the scope built in with the component, it makes perfect sense to just go in and have the styles baked in the Svelte files, and that's it. As simple as that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that too. When you're working in React or a more JavaScript heavy framework, your mindset, for me at least, shifts to JavaScript. And so it's easier to kind of stay in that JavaScript mindset than to flip back and forth. But this, and one of the things I love about Svelte is the simplicity and how it feels like a vanilla HTML file. You're creating your script tag for your JavaScript, your style tag for your CSS, and then you have your markup. So it kind of separates them but keeps them together in a file. I guess that's a question for me. Is this Backlight version using just Svelte the compiler, or is this using Sveltekit?
Yeah, it's using Svelte the compiler only.
Okay.
So when the Svelte, the dot Svelte here is compiled into using the Svelte compiler, and then this can be used and published. And I don't know if Mads published it. Did you publish it? No, not on npm. But we could, or did you? So we could actually use this design system in an app. That's what you want to do, maybe.
Okay, so bringing Sveltekit into like a local environment and then trying to install.
But maybe we can do like a Svelte. I think I saw this Sveltekit, Sveltekit.new. Have you tried that? I saw that last night.
Yeah, with StackBlitz.
Let's do this.
Yep.
Here we go.
Isn't that so awesome? I love StackBlitz, and I also love Gitpod. Gitpod also allows you to do this with more. I feel like Gitpod allows you to do more, like if you have GitHub repos already that you want to use, but this is more for just spinning up fast new apps.
There we go. Look at that.
Sweet.
We have to step up our counter. For your information, Brittney, we actually did. So we do webcomponents.dev as well, and we have one very popular blog post where we actually written this web component or this counter in today in 59 different frameworks for web components. So you have them all here with different code. And so this is why I was saying we need to step up our component, because this one is really simple, but the Sveltekit one is really nice.
It kind of showcases one of the most powerful things about Svelte, which is those built-in animations that you have out of the box. Because it compiles your code away, you just have access to so much more stuff. Because if you don't use it, it just goes away.
So that's cool. Let's see. So let's see if we can import our button here. So where is my, so this is a Sveltekit. So now I'm discovering as well a Sveltekit, but I understand that there is some sort of file routing system. So this is,
There is. So the routes directory, every page in a routes directory gets a new route on your site. So it is named after the file.
And so to-dos, home, and so home, I guess it's index.
Is the index.svelte file, and that is the slash.
Yeah. And so here we can say hello, and we should have our hello. Okay, easy enough. This is cool. So this is where we're going to maybe try to import our button. So what we're going to do is going to go to our design system here. We have our button. You don't mind if we merge this new green button, right? Mads, you don't care? So let's go. New green button. There we go. And I just check that branch. New green button. Go, let's merge. Everybody's happy.
This is one of the best simple reviews that you can do.
Self-review is always the best.
I reviewed myself and I merged myself.
There we go. And now we're going to release it. So we're going to release into the free backlight scope, easy peasy. Release, we're going to make that like a 1.0.
Semver.
Release. Now, let's see.
This is one of my.
So this is a bug. It's fixed today by Misha. Thank you, Misha. Let's wait a little bit. Here we go.
Awesome.
And so now we should have the NPM package. Come NPM. There we go. So this is what we want. Let's go to Sveltekit. So if I'm not too bad, is this, no. How do you add dependencies now?
I would Control C in the terminal if it will let you. And then try to install it there.
npm install. Okay, cool. And now I can import here, but it's not that simple, right? Because we need to go and fetch the button. Yeah, I should have worked this out a little bit before. We export the button right away.
We export the button, but I'm not sure that the import will work out of the box without directly specifying the path to the button Svelte element.
That's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Sveltekit, sorry. And so it's a named export now. So probably want to do this.
Yeah.
And now we can do our button. Oh, sorry. And now I need to run this stuff again.
Oh, yep. npm run dev should run the server for you.
Ooh, he didn't like that.
Cannot use import statement outside of a module. So this is a thing where we have ESM in Sveltekit and it uses Vite. So is this using CommonJS?
No, not that I know. So
it should have exported a compiled version of the Svelte component, but I'm pretty sure we could access the button in the SRC folder as well.
You think so? Yeah, but then, then in that case, I need to make another release. Let's make a patch, but this time I'm going to include the source. Yeah, it's probably the right way of doing it with Svelte is to probably not transpile the Svelte files and import them from npm directly. I don't know what you think, Brittney.
I'm not sure. So it's compiling all of the code and pushing that to npm, and then we're trying to import that package with the compiled code.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost should just be the straight Svelte component that you're getting. And then you should be able to just import like if you had a Svelte component in your components directory.
When
Let's do this.
when you're building a library or a collection of components using Sveltekit, how it is distributed when you publish the package? Is it just a collection of Svelte files, or is it precompiled by the tool behind it?
That's a great question. Let me see if I can find my package that I created for that.
Hey.
Hey, awesome.
Did you get it? Awesome. I wanted to say that it was.
But the style is not, yeah, I know why. You added some global styles into this.
Exactly. So you need to import the global style sheet from the package itself.
But where are those styles coming from?
Let's have a look at the quick tutorials that I wrote. I can't remind, but it's something probably coming from the theme package.
And you have a theme?
Isn't I guess so. Is it coming from the Switch theme? I'm not sure. No, from the theme, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's coming from this theme package.
Oh yeah, this is
I have to revamp it a bit because
yes. You have to revamp it a little bit, or let me fix it. So we're gonna try to avoid any styling. So to do this, we're gonna just remove that. I don't know if it's boring, but I want to see this button nice and clean in the Sveltekit.
And you're right. You're totally right. It's interesting because I get that the Svelte Sveltekit started a few months ago, and we didn't touch it in any really in the meantime. I just tried to improve it a bit, but finally we saw many changes in our very implementation in the way we are dealing with tokens and components and so on. So it's a good exercise because we could extract all the theme related stuff into design token hosted in CSS custom properties, and finally just refer to these custom properties in the styling of the different components in their specific styles, and not at the global level.
No, not at the global level, yeah, no. No. There we go. Do you guys like it?
Perfect.
Nice.
Okay, so now we don't have any global styles. We are good to go. And now I'm gonna push this.
I will probably take some inspiration from the Open Props project from Adam, because there was a lot of nice things in it. The way he is exporting the different tokens in different custom properties and
Yes.
relying on them on the component after that. Would be nice.
So it does both, it looks like. When you run the package command, it transpiles them into single directories for each component. And then there's a components directory that has the original component.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have a look to see if we could support Sveltekit in Backlight. George, what do you think about it? Could it be interesting to power a design
I think for a design system, you know, Sveltekit is a framework the way Saper was and the way Next is or Nuxt is. So when you build a library, I guess Svelte is a better choice. So now I updated the design system. I run again. And what? I want my nice button. No. Oh, I didn't save.
Did you update the version that StackBlitz is using?
I tried at least.
Okay.
Let's see if it really happened. Oh no, it's still on the old version. There we go. Now it's on the new version.
I find sometimes
the lag. Yeah.
Yeah. The package.json and the package lock files always get a little wonky.
Ta-da!
Awesome.
Sweet.
There
That's
we go.
great.
Yes, that's cool. Okay, cool. So we did it. We built a design system. I mean, we built a little component in Svelte and we import it into a Sveltekit project. I'm very proud of myself tonight.
Yeah.
You can, definitely. That's great. So
we are running out of time. Is there anything you want to tell us, or anything we should know?
Not really. I agree with like using Svelte in Backlight. I think that makes more sense, where Sveltekit just kind of allows you to use that package command to easily push things to npm. Backlight's doing the same thing for you. So I don't think you need that power of Sveltekit there. You might be able to look at what Sveltekit is doing, because I think all it's doing is creating those transpiled files and the copy of the component too. So it might be doing a similar thing there that you might want to look at. But
we need to look at the transpiled form for import and stuff. And write the documentation about it. Let me take some notes.
I really love what Backlight is doing though, because it's taking a lot of the setup work out of building component libraries and allowing you to just start with the code where most of us front-end developers want it to be anyways, and making it so much easier. So
yes, that's exactly what we're trying to do. Is like you can really focus into building your components and collaboratively with everybody, and just all the infrastructure and the build and the release and the visual review. It's all managed by the platform. One thing that I wanted to ask, and actually we don't support it yet for Svelte. You know, we have a doc, we support the documentation of the design system. And so what we like to do is to have, usually have some sort of MDX or markdown, and then have the components that you build for your design system in the documentation, because it's so nice to have the documentation and the living components inside it. And so we haven't implemented yet, but I know Svelte has
called mdsvex.
Exactly. I'm going to there. And I think it's
this
done
is
by
the
Mr. Penguin.
I think this is like the Made with Svelte site, but if you visit like the actual mdsvex site, it'll go into it. But this is supported in Svelte. The Sveltekit implementation of it is still being worked on. So there are still some bugs, and it's still in beta, just like Sveltekit is. So Penguin is working on getting that set up, but this would be your alternative to MDX for
for Svelte. Superb. And would the Sveltekit has so mdsvex built in, or it would be a new Markdown processor for Sveltekit?
I think he uses Remark under the hood. So the Svelte add command I was talking about earlier will probably have a way to, you'll spin up a new Sveltekit project, and then you would run Svelte add mdsvex, and that will add that and configure it to your project. That's one of the nice things about the Svelte add command is it's one command you run and it configures everything. You don't have to make like 5 config files and make sure they're all connected.
I was not familiar with this, but this sounds interesting. And because we've seen those CLIs where you can say, okay, create anything, and then you have a list of templates that you select. But what you're telling here, it's a bit different. Is like you can start with a template and then say, oh, I'm going to add Tailwind. Or I'm going to add this and that. And so it's a little bit more... it's a bit more interesting in certain ways. You don't need to have like 20,000 templates and pick the precise one. You can maybe build it easily, the one you want.
Exactly. And there was even conversation about having the Sveltekit CLI ask you if you wanted a starter in the CLI. So like asking you what you wanted added to it. Like right now it asks you about TypeScript, ESLint, and Prettier, but maybe in the future it might ask you if you want Tailwind or Sass or like what things you want to add to it, and just kind of give it to you out of the box without having to have all those starters, which I think would be really nice.
Yeah, I don't know who's working on this, but the head is must be exploding. Because I'm pretty sure that changing those configuration files with the different things must be quite challenging.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and they have a different kind of brain power, I think, in my opinion. Like Rich Harris, just his brain works differently than the rest of them. There's a few of those people out there that can do that stuff.
Well, superb. So I think we're gonna integrate with mdsvex very, very soon, so that we can also write documentations of Svelte design system with some sort of markdown with enrichment of components.
Yeah, super powerful.
But this being said, we just added the support for Astro, and Astro has Svelte support, so this is also an option.
That is an option, yeah. If you support Astro, then it should support the markdown that Astro uses. Is that a different flavor? Don't they use a different flavor of markdown then?
Yes, absolutely. You still put the components in it, but the way you import it, it's with front matter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show.
And they have like some Astro specific syntax you have to use in their like .astro file.
Exactly. So they have here the markdown. So this is the parser. And then this is how you do this. So for example, how to import stuff. There we go. So this is how you import things, and then you import the markdown component, and then you can put markdown inside it. But then I'm not on the right page here. Building components. Where is it?
Maybe above, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw
Astro markdown component.
No, and
so it's like a component, and then the children are your markdown.
Yeah, but they have it now, so I don't know. Find it. Maybe it's not documented yet, but they do have this now recently since version 0.21. That's something also to try.
Yeah, it could be interesting to have both. Finally, having this support of mdsvex or the ability to write Astro files for the documentation by the component in them. Really nice.
That gives you a couple options there.
Yes.
Look forward to when it's all up there. Writing the documentation with the components in it is just really powerful. So
Yeah, an interesting thing that if you write them with Astro, you could finally power a mini website dedicated to the documentation of your design system, because you just have to compile the Astro files into the final website, and that's all. Just extracting the documentation from
And
the
it's
design
in
system to
multiple
publish it
languages,
statically.
which,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. That's really, really nice.
it is. Yeah, I think that is one of the best things. Like a huge component library can make it in several different languages and show the documentation, how it's used in each language, and makes it a really powerful tool.
Yes, for sure. Awesome. So I guess we are running out of time. So it's probably time to close the stream. Thank you very much for being here with us today. It was really nice to have you. It gave me a lot of new ideas to improve the Svelte Sveltekit into Backlight. So yeah, that's really cool.
I'm so happy. Yeah. The only thing I wanted to add too is I co-host perfect.dev, and we just had Mads on to record an episode. So that should be coming out within the next month. We had a bit of a backlog. So you're going to be able to check out backlight.dev on perfect.dev, the podcast. And then we have Mads coming on this Friday for the Sirens stream to show off integrating that Svelte kit project that we just did on this stream.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And we make sure we have all the links to the podcast and to the Svelte Sirens, also everything we mentioned in the description of the video.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
And thank you so much for having me. This was great.
No, thank you for coming. You come whenever you want again, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll continue to improve the Svelte project. That's really nice.
Yes, next time you come, it's going to be perfect.
Awesome.
A lot of pressure on my shoulders. Thank you very much for today. Thank you to both of you. And see you next week, folks, for a new episode. With Scaling this time for a custom design system. So see you later. And
Thank you.
again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.